Hey, good morning everyone. I was just fixing the color settings. Today I wanted to talk about what my first goal was when I first started and what I'm making now, okay? And here's a reason, because yesterday I was talking to quite a few people regarding shop critiques. They wanted to see if it was right for them. They wanted to see more details as to why they thought they needed a shop critique. They thought their shop was doing just fine, etc. And I found is that people need the motivation to realize that they can actually do it. They can actually accomplish more than they're currently already accomplishing. And indeed, I could help them accomplish that, you know? Good morning. So I was telling a few people how I got started, and I did not know my business would be where it is now. And in fact, I would never have guessed I would have been teaching anybody, you know? So I want to share my story with you. There's a lot of new people following me. They do not know how I got started. So I definitely want to talk about how I got from my first goal to where I am now and as to why, right? I also want to talk about an update. I helped my sister open her Etsy shop, and I want to give you an update as to how it's doing. And you might think, okay, I get it, Dahlia. You're fantastic. It's probably doing good. But I want to discuss it with you because the answer is not as simple as that. And you'll be interested to find out what she's going through and how her shop is doing, okay? Before I get started, just a quick reminder, 4 more days left to getting a shop critique. Obviously, after the 4th day is finished, it won't be available for the rest of 2016. You know, the things I talk about today, for example, the things I talk about today will certainly be related to shop critiques in the sense that when I do a shop critique, I'm essentially trying to help you get to your goal, right? So you fill out a questionnaire, you say, this is how much I'm currently making, this is how much I want to make. I will strategically help you get to that goal, tell you what to do. Here's the thing, guys. I want you to be able to listen to what I'm saying and actually do the stuff. Because you could just sit back and say, I just paid Dahlia some money, but I don't want to do anything that she tells me because I don't know. Then that's something different. But you did not pay me to give you some advice that is very meaningless and doesn't require a lot of hard work. You could bet that to change your business around, there are things you have to do, strategies, etc., that require some hard work. You know, a lot of people that have had a shop critique already know that. So just understand, if you want a shop critique, fantastic. I'm here for you. Get it before Sunday ends. And just realize that I'm here to change your business and make it into something much more profitable for you. So there's going to be quite an action plan, okay? But let's get into the topic today. So a little bit about me. And I'm going to act like you don't know anything about me, okay? So I'm going to start fresh for everybody. When I first started, I don't know how I found Etsy. Don't know how I found it. But I ran into it, and I saw people selling art prints, and I said, what? And I seen that they had sales, and I'm like, what? I could do that. And not in a rude sense, like, oh, I could do the same thing they can. No, it's not that. It's just like, I knew I was an artist. I knew I could do something like that. I knew people could possibly pay for it. You know, I saw the designs out there. I said, I know I could do something like that even better. So I'm like, I want to try it. I just couldn't believe people would pay for that and put my art into their homes. So I told my husband, I remember I was sitting on the kitchen table, told him, he said, sure, go for it, you know? And I was like, awesome. I don't know why I was nervous to tell him. I thought he would probably think it's a silly idea. But luckily he didn't. And I worked really hard to get my first 10 listings up. I worked really hard on photos, worked really hard on a lot of things, you know? And I got my first 10 listings up. I made my first sale a month later to somebody in Australia. I still remember her profile picture. I still remember it because it was my first sale. And then 2 weeks later, I made another sale. And then every month after that, I was making one sale, one sale. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I still remember when the business was increasing. I remember without me doing too much, business was increasing to like a sale every 2 weeks, you know? And my husband's like, look at that, right? We were so excited. And a sale for every 2 weeks is probably like 20 bucks. It's not a big deal, you know? So 20 bucks times 2, 40 bucks, right? But it was a big deal to me. And little did I know yet, I was not going to make this into a real business. I just thought some chump change would be nice around here, you know? Especially, I was very, very excited about people buying my art. So I remember being pregnant with my second child, Juju. A lot of people know her. You might, if you follow me on Instagram and check out my stories, you'll see her often in my stories. Anyway, so I was pregnant with her, and I was getting like a sale a day, I think, or sale, something like that, a couple sales a day. It was during Christmas season because I had her in December 17th. So people were obviously buying gifts. And I was looking at my husband, and by the way, I was on maternity leave from my other job, and I wasn't really working on Etsy. I mean, I was just chilling in the house, right? Etsy was just something that if I got a sale, that's cool. And I was getting like sale after sale, sale after sale. And by that time, I still didn't have a goal yet. I, wasn't, making a killing amount of money, but I decided that after my daughter was born, I started to realize something was with this. Like, my husband's like, I think you make this into a business. I'm like, maybe, we'll see. So he's like, just work hard on it. I said, okay, I'll make some more designs. And so I did. And then I realized, what would be nice if we could pay off my second daughter's daycare expenses. Because, it's extra, right? We just had the baby, right? So my first goal, my daycare expense, was $600 a month. And give or take, right? So remember, that was my first goal. And I don't remember how, if I look back, I probably could think back, I probably remember exactly how long it took me to beat that goal, but I eventually beat it, obviously, right? So, and I'm here to tell you that I currently easily make $600 a day. And before the haters start rolling their eyes, because some of them are out there, I know, and probably don't believe me, because I spoke to some people yesterday that wasn't a hater, but they couldn't believe, like, wow, you can make that much in a day. I'm like, well, listen, some days are lower and some days are higher. Yeah, I do. But it took me a long time to get here. Nor am I promising you the same thing, meaning, hey, follow my techniques and in a month you could do the same thing. Not necessarily, because it did take me quite a few years to get here. And of course, a lot of that business is also repeat customers, and a lot of things are into place, and it does take time. But my first goal was 600, and I could easily make that in a day, And I want to tell you guys that it's super, super possible. And it's not that simple, but simply how I did it was I organically grew the business, I didn't have too much pressure on myself, so I wasn't like always unmotivated and feel like I couldn't do it. I just did it. And had no expectations, And I strategically grew my line to things that people wanted to see. Right pricing, right SEO, right descriptions. The biggest thing is the growth of the line, I feel, at this point, because I already know my SEO, I know my descriptions, all that things. It's the growth of my line and how it goes. It's how I treat my repeat customers, and things of that nature. So let me just take away this notification. Okay. So yeah, that's roughly, it's how much I make per day. And many of you know that if you've been following me for a while, last year and the year before, I was making six figures. Yes. And oh, come on in.
Sorry.
We'll wait till he leaves. Oh, wait.
Hello. Let's start working.
Thank you. The reason why I waited was because I don't want to talk about revenue and then my assistant outside there hears it. So that's the only reason why I kept it hush hush. He obviously knows. But anyway, so I've been making six figures. This year will be the first year I'll be hitting multiple six figures, which will be very, very exciting for me. Obviously, many of you know I hired an assistant last year, November. My husband got hired a few months ago, a little bit sooner than we expected, but absolutely necessary. I mean, many of you also know that when you were with me when I first hired my husband, it was a lot of anxiety because, I mean, you could probably just guess why. But we're here, and I probably would have had it any other way, Anyway, so I just want to inspire people that, because I talked to a few people yesterday that have businesses, not with Etsy alone, with Amazon as well. Last year was pretty much with Etsy alone. November, December had some Amazon numbers in there because that's when Amazon rolled out. Thank you. You don't have to really congratulate me. It's been like that for a while, but I appreciate it. But no, it's with my well, it's with my modern pink line alone, but it's in Etsy and then Amazon. I also have my repeat customers who email me, and sometimes some of them text me. I do have some of them that are really, really good customers that have my phone number. I know. It's probably not for you, and that's fine. It works for me. It's fine. Anyway, for those customers that don't contact me back on Etsy, I send them a PayPal invoice. So also PayPal, I guess, invoice, which is now leading back to the .com. But yes, all my modern pink paper business. Yeah, my website, exactly. Because really what was happening is people were messaging me and asking for invoices for things, which was really nice of them because they felt comfortable enough to email me, not just go back to Etsy. They just felt connected with me. In fact, like I said, a lot of them still message me, you know? But anyway, yeah, I was doing it alone. And I just want to make sure I'm very, very clear. Yes, I'm not lying. I'm very honest. Most of you that follow me, I'm very, very honest. I'm not lying about the numbers. There's no reason for me to. Two, I'm not guaranteeing you the same thing. What I'm telling you is that simply let me critique your shop. Let me see what your goals are and let me help you get there. It's as simple as that. Now, I'll be honest with you, and I won't mention any names, but there were some people that messaged me yesterday that, and not just one, so a few, that were talking to, that did other services with other business coaches, okay, similar to me, right? And they were not really happy with their work. And you know, I never talk bad about other coaches. It's not like how, you know, because I just don't. I think they're actually pretty good from what I understand. And I certainly think not every coach is for everybody. You know, I'm pretty sure people were not happy with me that I'm unaware of, but whatever. However, those people told me they weren't happy with the critique, and I said, hey, tell me what you got in your critique. And they explained to me, and I said, well, that's cool. There's some good information there. But my critique is completely different. I'm really, really focused. I know why you're getting a critique. You want to know how to take your business from A to Z. And, or maybe not Z, because that's not the end result, but you want to know how to grow your business. And while some of the information that was given to those people were pretty good, I focus more on strategies to continue to grow. So it's not just, fix this photo, blah, blah, blah. I really walk you through it. I also go, the biggest part I really like is the growth of the product line and a few other strategies I go through for you guys what you need to accomplish to get to this. I'm very in touch with business. I know several different kinds of businesses. I've been critiquing most of your shops for a very long time. So I know different arenas of the businesses. So I know what's possible. So if you're, let's say if you're, I don't know, if you sell digital downloads and you're like, I want to make 10 grand a month, you know, it's different from somebody that sells wedding invitations and tell them we'll make 10 grand a month. It's very different because demand, price point, the average sale is different. And I go through all this stuff in a critique, you know, if relevant. So just understand that it's a lot more, it's definitely worth the price, but it's a lot more than you possibly might think. So let me take a sip of coffee really quick. I do feel a little bit better, a little congested, but much better than the past few days. Thank you. So that was a quick version of how I got started, you know? But in my wildest dreams, I would have never imagined. Guys, think about it. Can anybody imagine right now? Take the money you make right now. This is the dollar amount. And then times it by 4. Something like that. Whatever. Just make a crazy number. Could you ever imagine you're going to be making that much? I don't know. Could you? And if your answer is no, that's interesting because I thought the exact same thing. And there was not 1 ounce of me that thought I could reach to what I'm doing now. Not 1 ounce. Oh my God, I hope that ends up okay. Yeah, why don't you take care of the bank account first? You know, absolutely. And you know, this is for a limited time, but understand that it will roll out in 2017. Again, I don't know when. If you're ready to have your shop, you know, what's the right strategies before the holiday season, get it now. Simple. If you're like, there's a few people I told them actually not to get the critique, and the only reason is because I also think about these obviously are not for free. Let's just be honest. And sometimes I check out their shop and I'm like, no. While you may need the critique, let me tell you something that's really, really staring at me in the face. You need the SEO webinar much more. And I'm very honest, you know? And I could have easily just said get the critique and that, or just get the critique and it's a lot more money, but I'm not about that. I really want to help you. I know, Carolyn. I know. I have big plans. First of all, if anybody doesn't know, I'm a big planner person, okay? Big planner person. Planning goals, planning a lot of things, okay? That's separate. I'm also a geek when it comes to paper and planners, okay? So it's only fitting that I actually come out with the planners soon. And that is true, I will be. But you don't know when, you don't know anything about it. And I'm really excited about it because I know a lot of people, first of all, a lot of my members would really love it. Because obviously we're in business and we need a planner. And if you're not planning, first of all, what are you doing, you know? Yeah, so do I. I definitely love paper planners. I do love my Trello. I do love all that stuff, but I use them both. And sometimes, depending on the mood, to be honest with you, I use one more than the other. But I definitely plan. There's no doubt about it, you know? I am making a planner. I am. So somebody's asking 2018. Well, we'll have to see. There's a lot of big things on my list for next year, and that is one of them. So you might say, well, next year, then we can't have it for 2017 because it's about to start 2017. I understand, but you could get it, and it's believe me, I'm taking care of you guys. You could get it for like 17-month planner, 15-month planner. So it starts like the middle of the year or something, and then goes into the rest of 2018, things like that. You'll see. It's really going to be something that it's going to work for a lot of people. You'll see. I really thought it through, okay? My hobby turned into a business. I wasn't ready for that. You see, sometimes it just happens and you don't even know it. Like, it happened to me, you know? And then strategy came into play. I was like, okay, let me get some things done, you know? You make planner stickers. Yeah, I actually critiqued a lot of people's shops with planner stickers. So if you, by the way, I know sounds lame, but Dara, is that how you say your name? If you are interested in shop critique, if anyone's interested in shop critique, here I am. But I am very in tune with the planner sticker community and the world and the business. And I know how to critique those shops. I know how to get your business to grow. Like, I know it. Now, the idea is if you want to get the shop critique and or actually listen to what I'm saying, that's a different story. But yeah. Just was at Target yesterday. I was looking at the planners and my husband was like, what are you doing? You have one and you make books. I know, he doesn't get it. I know. Just make it big. My biggest pet peeve is small planners. I think it's going to be an A5 size. That's what I think it's going to be. Just FYI. I use Trello in a bullet journal. I love to buy your planner. Thank you. I appreciate it, Michelle. I really wanted to focus on a lot of things that I talk about. But again, it's in the work, so just hang tight. Nonetheless, going back to what we were saying, if you don't believe you could do it, that's the first problem. Now, let me tell you about my sister, okay? Because it's a lot to do with goals. It's a lot to do with income. It's a lot to do with shop goals. I also helped her grow her shop because she came from overseas, had a very successful business overseas, came back, wanted to do Etsy, right? She makes soaps, candles, etc. Now, I just want you to get in the mindset of my sister, okay? She has no idea I'm talking about her, by the way. She is pretty much starting from the ground up. She already knows her craft. That's fine. But she ran a business online. She has not yet, okay? Everything was overseas, store overseas, everything. So she's really starting from scratch, and it feels like crap. Because what happens when you start from scratch? A lot of legwork. And then you start to see the fruits of your labor. And that's what she's going through now. So my sister, we had quite a few phone calls about strategy of her business, the listings, SEO. I taught her SEO. She's really good at it now. She still has questions once in a while, but I taught her all these things. She still calls me, tell me questions and stuff like that. But once in a while, she gives me a ring. And it's not the most motivating type of phone call. She's down about her business and like all the stuff. I'm like, why? What's going on? She's like, I'm only making a sale every other day, or sometimes, 3 days in a row. But I really want to make multiple sales a day. I really want this income. And I said, Medj, what do you expect? Like, every business is going to be different, but having a sale almost every day is fantastic, and you just started. And there's a lot of things that she still has to work on that we talked about, and sometimes she just wants to ignore them. And I'm like, didn't we talk about this? Didn't we talk about this? And the thing that we talked about, FYI, just to give you a little bit more insight, is I told her to grow her product line in certain ways. And it's definitely, there's a demand out there for what I told her to grow her product line in. And somehow she still refuses to do it. Not refuses, but she doesn't have the time. And I said to her, what are you doing this week? And she's like, oh, this and that. And obviously back to school is coming up. She has like 1 million kids, is what I feel like she has. And she's getting ready. But the point is, I said to her, you need to listen to what I'm saying and do it. The only problem is, guys, and I know you experience the same problem, so I'm sharing the story with you. 1 second. It's hard for her to invest this much time and money into something that I'm telling her will make this much later, but currently it's only making this much, okay? And while some of us got it down and say, nope, I got it, I'm going to keep working, I know I'm going to reach it. Now you can reach it, I could reach it. But some of us are not like that, and that's okay. It happens to a lot of us. Sometimes it even happens to me, where I launch a whole new product line, took me forever to make, and then I'm worried that it's not going to sell, And while that may be true, sometimes you create a product line that's not really a killer, and not really a good thing, killer in a good way. But I want you to know that a lot of times the things that you have to do in order to get to somewhere will require a lot of hard work. Example, and you might not relate to this, but I'm going to tell you something. It's exactly what you're feeling. So many of you know I'm redoing the Etsy Seller Mastermind website into the Handmade Mastermind website, right? Redoing it completely. Really, really focused on blog content, and things like that. So you obviously always can refer back to it, and just a few other things, right? So I'm redoing it, and what I'm doing now is getting with the web designer, strategically talking about how I want the website to function, getting my branding board together, writing a whole bunch of blog posts up, and that takes time because I'm not just shelling out blog posts. It's really about quality to me, right? So I look back at them to make sure that, like, when you read it, you're like, wow, who's this person? I don't need to follow her, sort of deal. So I just want to say that the work that I'm doing for the past couple of weeks has been excruciating because it takes so much work to get up and running, and I don't half-ass anything. When I get something out, let's say if I make a shop, it's not filled with just 10 items. I really make a shop. So when I come out with this new blog or website, if you will, it's really going to be packed with things, So 1% inspiration, 9% perspiration. Absolutely. There's a lot of freaking hard work behind it. But you have to have the motivation part, the inspiration part in order for it to succeed, because I keep telling myself, I keep sinking back into, like, is this going to really work? I mean, first of all, I already have a following. People are interested to see what I have to say, obviously. A lot of times, many of you have spoken and told me that they would love to see my blog posts, so they could refer back to it and help them. Obviously, blogs are for free, so that's awesome for you guys, etc. So I would really like to get this thing going, but sometimes I do stop myself and say, is this going to work? Many of you know that the Handmade Mastermind, or formerly known as the Etsy Seller Mastermind, has grown into something that I did not expect it to grow into. Again, all still by accident, because I enjoy teaching people. And while the website I currently have is doing fine, I know it could be better. And it's the same thing when I look at your shops, right? It's doing fine, but I know it could be better. So I'm doing the same thing for myself, I'm fixing my shop, which happens to be my website, my blog, to be even much more better. So in that case, when it relates to you, it's fixing your photos, it's fixing whatever else I tell you in a shop critique, for example, right? It's a lot of hard work, and you feel like giving up, and you feel like, how am I supposed to do that, Or, it's going to require some money to invest in this more stuff, but you tell me to grow my line, what the hell? Yeah, but you also tell me that you want to make $5,000 a month compared to your $500 a month. Did you think I was going to give you like this one cool tip that was going to like change the world? No, it doesn't work that way, right? You know, some people are afraid of hard work, and I'll be honest with you, they don't know it, but when they see that they have to do a long laundry list of things, they're afraid of it. And sometimes as simple as planning for it, down to little tasks in order for you to get it accomplished. But sometimes it is that they don't want to do the work. It is a lot of hard work. Sometimes I don't want to do the work, so I can imagine people don't want to do it either, you know? Have you ever asked for a critique and the shop was fine the way it was? Have you ever asked for a critique? Like from my shop? Is that what you're saying? Or you mean for somebody else's shop? You mean somebody purchased a critique and I saw their shop and it was exactly fine. Is that what you're saying? Good point, Anusha. Simply just listening to my scopes really gets the motivation going. It really does. And people have told me that. That's the only reason why I say that. I'm still doing photos, brought photo tent plus new camera, so not sure if they are right. You know, if you don't know, go ahead and do a before and after. Show us to the group, you know. Another shop. Okay, so no, and here's why. And I'm not saying every shop is not good. Even my shop needs some work. But again, I have a good problem. I'm too busy. I'm making so much money, and not to like brag, but I'm making so much money that I don't have time to fix those things. Slowly but surely, me and my assistant are fixing those things when we go back to it. And we are, by the way. But something's always to work on. But let's just say the worst case scenario is that there's nothing to really work on. Which, by the way, I've seen some really, really good shops, okay? In some of the critiques. Not quite a few, but definitely a few. But what happens during that critique then, I then tend to focus my energy on how to get them from this revenue goal to this revenue goal in more in a business coaching strategy form. So it much more focuses on new product lines, how they grow their new product line, social media, how they to use that, what platform to use, wholesale and person opportunities, like things like that. I focus more on strategy. You know, sometimes I do talk about ads. I talk about things to get them to the next level. I've critiqued shops that make 10 grand a month that want to make 15 to 20. I've done really bigger shops, and their critique is a little different. However, I've critiqued $10,000 shops a month, and sometimes they don't have the simple things in place. And when I tell them those simple things, the business is like easily turned up. And what I'm saying is their business is so high in demand that even with the things that they currently had, they were doing well. Even with the small things I told them to do, like SEO, better photos, they turned it up. And that person, I'm thinking one person in mind, is still working on strategies that I told them in this critique, and is still going to go up, simply. You know, there's always room for improvement. But again, if you have great photos, great shop setup, great branding, great descriptions, great SEO, because let's say you bought all my webinars and you're like, I got it, Dahlia. You're like, what else can you offer me in a shop critique? It's all about, well, think about it. If you're asking me, Dahlia, I did everything you said, and now I'm making $5 grand a month, or whatever, $1 grand a month, which is great, and I want to make $4 grand a month, that's my end goal. How do I get there? It becomes a business critique. It's not about your Etsy shop, it's your business, right? Because a lot of things I will tell you then will apply to anywhere you are online, apply to your business in general. It's not about your shop, because I talk about social media, which has nothing to do with your shop, right? Your shop is on Etsy. I talk about the things, you know. So I hope that makes sense. So a lot of people do wonder also if the critique will include something that they already know. Okay, meaning they're worried that they're going to pay for this critique, and I'm going to tell them exactly the thing that they already know. And I can tell you I highly doubt that, because if they already knew something, they would probably be already there. Okay, and not that that correlates, because sometimes you already know what to do and you haven't done it yet, right? But I can almost guarantee you the things that I'm teaching you don't already know. It's up to you if you want to actually do them. If you're like, oh, that's what she told me, I just wasted my money. Why did you waste your money? Because I told you things that you don't want to do? That's different, you know? So what I'm saying is that I tend to focus more into the latter half of the critique, more business strategy. If your shop is complete mess, let's just call it how it is. Some people, I do run into shops that are complete mess, It's completely a shop critique with slight business advice, right? But they have so much work to do in general. But then when you have some good things in place, and I've seen some people in the middle, higher or lower, I do focus more on business related. So I can guarantee you, I'm just guarantee that you're not going to learn things that you already know. There'll be some things, right? There'll be some things. You might say, I already know my photos suck. Or maybe sometimes people actually don't know their photos suck, but I explain to you why. I explain to you how to get them to be better. It's not like a step-by-step photography tutorial. No, that wouldn't work in a shop critique, but I do explain, in detail. As I listed my new section, waiting impatiently until I finished everything. My views are way up. I'm also renewing the same item. Good. Susan and a few others, by the way, I've had a lot of jewelry people message me recently about a shop critique. They're in a very different world. And it's probably fitting that I do a special scope for them, not scope, a Facebook Live, because they're very different. And I tend to talk that way in their shop critiques. But I also recently launched a line, and I've been waiting patiently for something to sell. Views have been up just a little bit, just because I just recently launched it, like less than a week ago. And last night, one of my new items sold. I'm like, yes. But anyway, sometimes being patient or impatient can really kill you, So just be patient. What is a good amount of items to have in a shop? I have 80. 80 is not bad, but it's not about the amount of items, okay? I often run into this issue when I look in a shop. I look at people, I'm like, you have 100 items, but 90 of them are in this category that nobody gives a shit about. And the other categories that you have like one of each, that's where I need you to really focus your stock on, right? So I give you that advice because I know where the demand is in business, etc. So just understand that, it's not about the total amount. It's about where you're focusing it in on your shop sections, your categories, and how much you have dispersed. Okay, because even if you know there's a demand for necklaces and you have 90 items in necklaces and then 10 other things, that still doesn't work, because while there's a demand there, you have to be able to spread it out. So then you could bring people from you could bring your same target customer into your store, but in different ways, different keywords. I go through this really in the shop critique much, much more in depth. That's a big part, because I do go over shop sections, your amount of listings, your product variations, the variety of products you offer, etc. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm just being honest with you. Shop critiques, and of course other webinars, really change people's businesses, especially if you put it into play. Some people experience change faster than others. Let's just call it how it is. We've seen those people. Some people take a while to experience it. I've also seen those people. But it's just what it is. As a jewelry designer, quantity over quality is my challenge. What do you mean, Kate? Because for a jewelry designer, it's a little bit of both. It really has to be both. And it's not one over the other, if that makes sense. But I'm not sure if I understood what you said. Oh, sorry, I just had to stretch. So anyway, if you want a shop critique, I posted a link right above here, or you go to etsysellermastermind.com, click classes, and click the packages right for you. There are 4 more days left: today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I will give a friendly reminder out on Friday, an email list, I'll be posting in the group today, tomorrow, to make sure nobody misses it, and people just do need the reminder because they're so busy. But Sunday's the last day, and I won't be there to Sunday to remind you, so don't wait past Saturday to get it if you want to get it, Sometimes I design a line, it's just one of a kind. Yeah, you have to be careful. So there's a business for one of a kind. There absolutely is. It's a harder business model to get into, just for the record, okay? Oh, that was a question. So renewing versus listing a new section. They're both different things, though, If you have new items to list it. But renewing something different where it helps your items, show that they're recent, right? And that helps in relevancy. For jewelry designers, renewing is almost like your budget for advertising, for marketing. Meaning there should be a small budget in for renewing your items. So You know, which is better for business? They both do different, not they both do different things. They're both different. They're both really good for business, especially in jewelry. They both do different, they both solve different problems. You know, that's the issue. That's the issue. How often do you renew jewelry? Well, I don't have jewelry to renew, but it's really strategic. So, you know, simply the simple answer, which is never simple, the simple answer is, depending on how many items you have, I would renew every few days or so. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it depends on how saturated that jewelry category is. Number three is, have you redone your SEO, your variations, your descriptions, everything. So after you renew and people tend to click on it, or you can convert it into a sale, because there's nothing worse than renewing an item and hoping for it to stay on the top of the search, and when it doesn't, you're like, what happened? Well, I think the search, and then you didn't earn your keep staying there. And you know what? Sometimes it's not your fault. I'm kidding. It is your fault in the sense that your photo wasn't good enough. They didn't convert into a buyer. Price was too high. Price was too low. Descriptions weren't on point. There's something that didn't convert the person into a buyer. And that's why eventually your listing fell out of place. Simple as that. Not trend driven. Yeah. So sometimes there is a place for niche businesses on Etsy and in the business world. But a lot of times, depending on how niche you are, I will pull out Marmalead. Marmalead is one of my favorite tools to see how niche you are. And sometimes I then focus on expanding your line, okay? And picking one specific item to continually renew, but the views are also broadening out to the shop. Well, that's good, especially if you have things optimized in the description and things like that. But I would recommend a few items to renew, just so you can test out which works better and possibly why. Okay. Oh, I'm so tired. Sorry. By the way, guys, it's a while from now, not too long, but the 19th, I won't be in. I'll be traveling to New York for my brother's wedding, and that will be in a couple of weeks, right? So just give you a heads up. It's very exciting. I might be periscoping. I won't put it on Facebook Live because it's more personal. But I'll also be doing Instagram stories of the wedding, so that'll be kind of cool. I get a lot of favorites, but would like to get more sales. That does come over time, but you have to look at your listings strategically, Christina, and say, you know, what is it that people are not converting into sales? And you want to look at your conversion rate first and say, you want to look and say, number of orders divided by number of views and see what that percentage is. Nope, not allowed. Sorry. What are you talking about? Can you talk at all about strategy of duplicating a listing for to reach more buyers? I have a variation to choose colors, but I'm considering also making separate listings for the best sellers where the color is standard. I can. I don't have time to do it in this Facebook Live. I'd love to talk about it. Erica, if you want to remind me, either tomorrow or Saturday. Saturday's a really perfect time because it's a lot of Q&A time, you know? So that would be perfect. Oh, you not being here. Yeah, my brother's getting married, so I have to go. But I will, it will be fun. So if you still follow me on Periscope, which you should, because you'll get the notification, you'll probably see part of the wedding. That'll be kind of fun, right? Okay, so anyway, let me let you guys go. I do have to get to work. I have a lot to do. So if you're interested in the shop critique, you know where to get it. The link is above, okay? Shortly after you purchase it, I will send you an email with the details and how to fill out your questionnaire and send it back to me immediately, because the shop critique will happen as soon as next week, okay? And I want to make sure that, well, simple, I want to make sure that I get it back to you and you can start getting to work before holiday season, okay? So I know, David, hopefully we could figure it out for you. Hopefully we could get your notification for Facebook to work. I don't know. We shall see. People have messaged me yesterday regarding shop critiques to see if it was right for them. I'm going to try to work myself through the list of people that asked me to message them. However, I will tell you this. I will say that if you already know that you need a shop critique, there's no point in talking to me. Have the confidence to know that, you know what, it's the right investment. Let me just get it, you know. if you just need me to pat you on the back, say, yeah, you do need it, then we have bigger problems. You know, I have no problem helping you realize it. But sometimes when I talk to people, they already know, you know, and I don't mind talking to them, but it's like, why can't you pull the trigger? Get things moving. And I worry about that because I'm wondering, what else are they holding back in their business? You know, get things moving. If you need the critique and you know it, get it. Let's just do it, you know? If you look at the comments after the live for the replay peeps, yes, sometimes they do write questions and I do answer back. Yes, because I get notifications. So me too, not message only. What was up on Periscope? Oh, okay. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna let you guys go and I will catch you tomorrow. All right?